Just had discussion about bullying and harassment, and item A2 is a resolution in support of LGBT History Month. The focus of the Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, and Transgender History Month is to recognize the contributions of LGBT individuals to America's history, build awareness in our schools, and promote the establishment of inclusive, safe, and secure educational environments which lead to increased student success. The most recent data collected focused on the safety of LGBT youth. The National Climate Survey conducted in 2011 found that a majority of LGBT students face continued harassment. Students from all 50 states surveyed identified that 8 out of 10 LGBT students, 81.9%, experienced harassment in the past year because of their sexual orientation. 63.5% felt unsafe, and 29.8% admitted to skipping school in the last month. Providing safe and respectful learning environments for all students is our collective responsibility. As the first district in the United States to move to validate LGBT History Month, the board continues to lead and promote 3 of our Broward County Public Schools character traits: kindness, respect, and tolerance. The LGBT History Month resolution is an important step toward equity for LGBT people in our schools. There's a long list of outstanding individuals who have impacted our world that just happen to be LGBT. These individuals are role models for all our students. Knowing more about these individuals and their accomplishments can be a valued asset to our own LGBT youth and staff in schools. I'd like to just read the resolution. Whereas lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender Americans have made and continue to make great and lasting contributions that continue to strengthen the fabric of American society, and whereas LGBT History Month was created in 1994 by a high school history teacher in Missouri called Rodney Wilson, and whereas encompassing a number of historically important days, this October is set to remind both the LGBT and wider communities of important roles LGBT people have taken in creating the social, legal, and political worlds we live in today. And whereas all people are created equal and deserve the same rights, privileges, and opportunities, and whereas this month, as we recognize the immeasurable contributions of LGBT Americans, we renew our commitment to the struggle for equal rights for LGBT students and staff, and whereas the School Board of Broward County, Florida is committed to academic success of all youth and to removing barriers to that end, and we believe that LGBT youth should feel safe to learn without the fear of harassment. And whereas, according to a 2009 National School Climate Survey, 9 out of 10 LGBT students report verbal, sexual, or physical harassment at school, and more than 30% report missing at least a day of school in the past month out of fear for their personal safety. And whereas LGBT educators, students, and families should be supported to live an affirmative life with dignity and respect. And whereas the School Board of Broward County, Florida has taken appropriate measures to address LGBT bullying, harassment, and educational equity in general through anti-bullying policy 5.9, 1.5 Policy Diversity Committee, and through the Non-Discrimination Policy 4001.1, and whereas a wide variety of community-based organizations and community leaders have partnered with the School Board of Broward County to educate, support, and provide resources to promote safe learning environments for all students and families, and whereas administrators, teachers, staff, parents, and students are encouraged to take part in LGBT History Month in any way that is positive and uplifting to their schools and communities, and to coordinate efforts to highlight exemplary role models from the LGBT community. And whereas the School Board of Broward County, Florida appreciates and recognizes the importance of LGBT History Month as an effective means of educating and calling to action the citizens of Broward County to work together to promote equal protection of all Broward County students and staff, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. And now, therefore, be it resolved, the School Board of Broward County, Florida hereby declares its support of October 2012 LGBT History Month. thank you to all of you for your words on behalf of LGBT History Month. It is all about the safe learning environment for our students to be able to learn. So thank you. And I'd like to thank Mickey Pope, Amalia Nieves, and Terry Williams of the Diversity, Cultural Outreach, and Prevention Department for their help as well. And I'd just like to recognize any of the elected officials, police officer in the audience, or anyone who came to support this resolution, to ask you to please stand. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. Appreciate the time for this important item. And I'd like to introduce a student from Hollywood Hills High School, Eliana Moore.
Hello and good afternoon. My name is Eliana Moore, and I'm coming here today with my very supportive mother and sister. And I would like to thank the board for giving me the opportunity to come and speak to you today about something that is very important to me. I am currently a senior at Hollywood Hills High School, and I am an actress, a writer, a photographer. I am a daughter, I am a sister, and I am a granddaughter. And I am also a pansexual. I like to think of myself as gender blind, and I believe that anyone can fall in love with anyone regardless of their gender. As a public school student, I have seen discrimination firsthand. I myself have been a victim of bullying in the past, and statistics say that 1 in 4 children are. Thankfully, I am fortunate enough to go to a high school where we have our very own Gay-Straight Alliance, and we have many teachers and staff members who are supportive and accepting and understanding. However, unfortunately, thousands of students take their lives every year because of hate crimes against the LGBT community. It is devastating enough for children who are rejected by their friends and family, but to go to a school where you spend 6 hours of your day, 5 days a week, and you are forced to hide who you are because you fear that you might be rejected there too, it makes you feel invisible. We live in a constantly changing, fast-paced society, and I believe that we all need to learn to accept the differences in those who share the same hopes and dreams that we do. By validating the LGBT History Month through a resolution, I believe that students will not only be given the opportunity to learn about major historic events and potential role models, but they will be given a sense of pride and acceptance in their school and community. Expanding our curriculum and relating current events to our personal lives will make for a greater academic impact. We have come such a long way, and I thank all of you for everything you've done thus far with the initiatives such as the Day of Silence and the addition of gender identity, gender expression, and sexual orientation under the discriminatory harassment section of the Code of Conduct. Speaking on behalf of all Broward County Public School students, I hope that you will continue to push forward because we are definitely ready. Thank you again.
Now I would like to introduce Jeanette, a parent from one of our schools.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for allowing me to speak here today. I'm the proud mom of a beautiful 11-year-old transgender girl named Jazz. She was born a boy, but has been living as a girl since she was 5. If Jazz was with me today, she would say, "Please tell everyone that I just want to be treated like all the other 6th grade girls. And just because I was born a boy doesn't mean that I'm any less of a girl." Like many trans kids, Jazz has faced endless discrimination. When she entered the public school system in 2006, hardly anyone knew that 5-year-old transgender children even existed. Back then, there were no policies set in place to protect her, and she had to overcome many obstacles, lots of ignorance, and heartless insensitivity. However, her journey pales in comparison to other trans kids. I recently received a photo from a mom in Texas who has a transgender daughter. The picture shows her daughter in an emergency room hospital bed on suicide watch. Earlier that day, her daughter tried to jump out of a window when she learned that her superintendent refused to allow her to enter school as a girl. The most shocking part of this story is the fact that this little girl is only 10 years old. I feel very fortunate to live in Broward County, where kids like Jazz are protected by the school district's non-discrimination policy. I've made it my mission to properly educate her middle school, and as a result, Jazz feels safe and welcome, and for the first time in her life, she loves school. Yet I'm aware that many schools are still unfamiliar with how to address the needs of trans youth, and therefore I'm so grateful that Broward schools will be recognizing LGBTQ History Month. Trans youth have a 50% chance of attempting suicide. With odds like that, it's imperative that all principals, administrators, teachers, and even students be properly educated so that they can support trans youth with compassion and understanding. And hopefully someday all trans kids will love school as much as Jazz does. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeanette, for your support. Jeanette also spoke when the board adopted changes to the non-discrimination policy. Next, I'd like to introduce Leah Washington, student, Hollywood Hills High School.
Hello, I'm Leo Washington. I'm a student at Hollywood Hills High School, and I'm 18 and African American. I also, because this is really hard for me today. I'm an actor, football player. I'm also the captain of a football team, and I'm a president of a club. And I'm all of these things, and I'm also gay. I'm here today to ask the school board to recognize LGBT History Month, to recognize that contributions of lesbians, gays, bisexual, and transgender people to art, science, math, history, and culture, to highlight positive role models for LGBT students, and to show everyone that we can all contribute to society. Regardless of gender identity or sexual orientation, there are writers, politicians, and artists that we already study in our textbooks who happen to be gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender. All we want is to recognize them for who they are so we can recognize ourselves for who we are and realize that we can all achieve great things. I came to Broward County from Georgia. It wasn't until I got to Hollywood Hills High School that I felt safe to be myself. Not because I'm at a supportive school, I've been able to become a better student and participate in extracurricular activities without being afraid. That's what I want for every student at every school. To learn in an environment where they don't have to lie, where they can be honest and accept for who they are and for who they want to be when they grow up. That's why we need role models, innovators, leaders, and heroes with different gender identities and sexual orientations. People who are different and people who make a difference. That's why we need LGBT History Month. Thank you.
I think Brian wanted to say something. Oh.
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead, son.
Being, as I am with my sexuality, I'm comfort. There's a lot of people out there that come to me and talk to me about they can't come out. They can't do it because, and it hurts because some of them have parents that aren't willing to allow them to be themselves. And it gets to the point where once they try to at least say something about it, it gets really bad, and they either run away and commit suicide, as you said. And it can be really bad, because I have probably at my school, probably about 30 people have told me they can't come out, they can't be who they want to be, and you could just see it in their faces that it hurts for them to be true to themselves. And if our parents would at least listen and understand that we're still their children, no matter what, we're going to love them, just to be open to how we are and to accept us for who we are. And I thank y'all a lot for having us come, because it really touches my heart dearly. And it's hard for me to just say all this stuff, because being gay or lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, it's like opening up yourself to the world and being true to who you want to be, and not being someone else for someone wanting you to be different. So I really thank you guys for that.
Thank you.
And next we have Patricia Lisane, Grant Manager of Mentoring Tomorrow's Leaders.
Good afternoon. Thank you all again for allowing us to speak on this very important topic. I'm really excited to be in Broward County at this point in our history where we're recognizing LGBTQ month. I am managing a grant right now, but I've been a teacher since 2003, and I just feel like it's very important for all students to feel safe in order to learn. Safety comes first, and then the environment to learn comes second to that. If they don't feel safe, they're not free to learn and to reach their full potential. I think that students need to feel safe physically, emotionally, and intellectually. We've all had experiences in which we've blossomed in a learning experience, and then unfortunately I believe that we've all had experiences in which we felt the learning experience was hostile and we shut down and we weren't focused on learning and reaching our full potential. When this happens, the world is robbed of our gifts and everybody loses out. I mean, can you imagine a world without James Baldwin, who himself was a member of the gay community? Can you imagine a world without Alice Walker, or a world without Baynard Rustin, who many don't know was an openly gay civil rights activist who actually masterminded the March on Washington and wrote many of Martin Luther King's speeches? I can't personally imagine a world without them. And if they had been cut off in a learning environment where people were hostile to them and they were not able to blossom and to tap into their gifts, we would all have lost out. And so again, I'm just very excited when students feel unsafe, whether it's because of their race, their gender, their ability, their religion, anything about their appearance, and certainly because of their sexual orientation. We all have the responsibility to step in, and we all have the responsibility to speak out. So I'm a very proud member of the Broward County Public Schools community on this day, where we're taking one more step toward that, where we're all recognizing that we all have the right to learn and to feel safe. So thank you again.
Board members, Ms. Fileman.
I just want to thank Lori for bringing this item forward. I am so happy to be part of a district that continues to pave the way for all students. And I wanted to just personally thank Jazz, Leo, and what's your name again? Aliana. I didn't get that down, for coming here and speaking on behalf of other students. And you're going to be the individuals that future students are going to read about during History Month, because you were brave enough to come forward. And so on behalf of all of the students and all the children here in Broward County Public Schools, thank you. And Jazz has really been paving the way, and I know you continue to come out and support us every item, so thank you very much to Jazz's mother. And to Michael, thank you so much for everything you do. And I saw Lee Pearman from Margate. I see Tom Green from Wilton Manors. I see a lot of elected officials. I hope I didn't miss anyone else in the audience. But thank you for being here today to support this, because every child deserves to feel safe. and not just safe in school, but safe in their own skin. And I think that's what our policies, what we've been doing, we're trying to create, is that every child can feel comfortable being who they are in our classrooms and in our school buildings. So thank you all so much.
Ms. Denon.
Yes. It's hard to top the eloquence of the speakers this morning. But as a couple of my backgrounds are, besides the fact that Vice Mayor Green used to be my boss once upon a time, but part of my background is that of being a history teacher. And I think, we have gradually, slowly increased our recognition of different peoples throughout our country and their contributions. And I think it helps if we teach our students the meaningful contributions of a variety of people. And that way, then, those people aren't other people. They're all of us. And I think that really is very, very important. So I appreciate you celebrating this History Month, and I hope that we will continue to be out in front on this particular issue in this school district so that all our students feel comfortable. I don't ever want a kid to go through school in Broward County and not feel welcome and comfortable and safe. And, that seems a given, but it really is something to achieve. So thank you, all of you who helped make this possible. Thank you, Lori.
Ms. Rupert.
Data and statistics. I love to hear from the kids, from the heart, to see what's actually going on. And my own children, I'm incredibly proud of. I bring them with me when, the Chick-fil-A incident. They came for that. And they're young. And you don't make your children do anything. You say, this is where mom's going, and, the van's leaving. And various children got in the van and their friends. So that's something I'm incredibly proud of. And for this generation right now, it's a no-brainer. People are people. And I'm remarkably proud of our young children. But I would be remiss if I didn't bring some statistics forward. According to Columbia University report that studied whether environment made the difference in gay teens' overall suicide prevalence, the study of schools had, if they had gay-straight alliance, anti-bullying and anti-discrimination policies, they made a difference. In hard numbers, 25% of gay students tried at one time, at least once, to commit suicide in negative environments. It dropped to 20% in positive environments with policies in place, and that is why we do what we do with the policies, because we want to promote equality for all of our children. And the drop from 25 to 20, it doesn't sound a lot. It's huge. Let's bring it down to 0 is really what our effort is, to have all of our children 0 attempts at suicide so they all feel safe. But thank you so much for bringing this forward.
Ms. Wood.
Wow. Your words are inspiring, and they touch my heart, and I think it takes great strength and shows who you are to come here and speak in an open forum like you just did. You've touched all of our hearts today, and I am so proud to see a room filled with people and a community and come together in something so important. I think earlier today someone mentioned that the day was about infusing love and respect with each other, and the acts of kindness and how far they can go. And I think it really speaks volumes with this item as well. And I'm just very proud of everyone who spoke here today. Seeing my Pembroke Pines captain in the audience, my own children who have been involved with the Great Straight Alliance within their schools, they really have shown me so much about the importance of being supportive with their own peers, knowing that they have a safe learning environment, that they could be in school and learn and have friends that respect them for who they are. So again, thank you for the resolution today, and to all of you who spoke today. You've touched our hearts.
True.
Hi, my name is Jahara Sanders, and I'm the founder and executive director of National Voices for Equality, Education, and Enlightenment. And we were founded back in 2009 to prevent bullying, suicide, and school violence. And the inspiration in this room is overwhelming. When I was 15 years old, I grew up in South Florida here, and I grew up in Miami. And when I came out, I was told that, for one, Black people aren't gay. And I was like, oh, okay. And I was told that Jewish people weren't gay because I happen to be African American and Jewish. And I was like, well, who do I have to be able to come out? But I never, ever thought that this day would come. And as a survivor of 3 suicide attempts, I just never thought that anyone would recognize, would let us even come out of the closet and be gay, let alone make an LGBT History Month. So I'm thankful to my 15-year-old self for not knowing how many pills to take to successfully commit suicide. I'm thankful for all the counselors and everyone else here, and Terry Williams and Michael and everyone in this community, and the 3 students to come up and speak. I was afraid to come out just to my parents, and they stood here and talked to all of us about who they were and who they'd like other people to be able to express themselves and their way of being. So I just wanted to say thank you for being a leader in this world. And I am so proud to live in Broward County, specifically in Wilton Manors. So thank you so much.
It's been a while since I've been on this side of the podium. Commissioner Lisa Pearman, Commissioner Margate, as the daughter of a teacher and a principal who was also a school board member at one time, as the second openly gay female elected official in Broward County, the first openly gay elected official female on the west side of 95, and yes, you have LGBTs on the west side of 95. As someone who, as I was growing up, had absolutely nowhere to turn, and as somebody who will probably is somewhere in that history, even if my name's not mentioned, because I'm old enough to be, I am so proud, and I applaud the school board for what you are doing, and I know how hard it is to make history, and you all have made history, and you have given the students, their parents, a place and a thing to look at and say, they did that for us, and I cannot thank you enough. I am truly very honored to be standing here and to look at all of you and actually say I know all of you, but at the students that are spoke, it'll verklempt me if I try to talk about them, but my parents right now, I am sure, are looking down and saying they are very proud of being a part of a school board. So thank you.
Hi, my name is Tom Green, and many of you know that because I've known many of you for a long time. I just want to say a couple of quick words. As the vice mayor of a city that has a very large LGBT community, I want to thank you for this resolution. It means a lot to our city. And most important, it means a lot to the LGBT students throughout the school system in Broward County. They are the people that are going to benefit the most from this. And as an aside comment, I was a delegate to the NEA convention, the National Education Association, a proud delegate, when in 1995 we passed this resolution at our General Assembly, and it was approved in 1995 by 10,000 teachers. And I was very proud of that, and I'm very proud of you today. Thanks.
board members and Superintendent Michael Rayner. Ms. Rich, I want to first thank you for bringing this forward. I know that when I asked you, you, like, without even thinking about it, said yes right away because you understood the importance of this issue. The students really, they just blew me away. You know, hearing their stories and their courage for them to come stand up. You know, with years we've had shows like Glee that have helped really, you know, give a glimpse. It's not reality, but it gives really just a glimpse into what the life of a LGBTQ youth in schools might be and some of the issues with some humor and entertainment with it. But there really is a lot of horror. I know that, you know, I often don't talk about my own story growing up. And for me, it was a horrible time. You know, I came from I'm Polish-Irish heritage. My father is from Warsaw, Poland. And, you know, that side of the family is not accepting of it generally. I have a German stepmother who immigrated from Germany as well. And I remember when they first found out that I was gay, the first thing was, well, you're not going to tell your brothers and sisters, are you? And you know, at 13, when the AIDS epidemic came about, which was 12 years before I was diagnosed HIV positive, I remember sitting in the living room and my brother, and I have to make sure I clean this up, but my older brother actually stating, finally there's a blank disease to finally, you know, deal with these blanks. And not did they even know that, you know, I'd be a person living with AIDS on top of being gay. And, you know, I remember writing a suicide note. And I was an office page in high school, so you had access to go about wherever you wanted, really. And I remember quickly in between classes slipping it into the principal's mailbox and then quickly making it to my next class, which happened to be gym. And the next half hour, the school was like in lockdown with a PA announcement pleading if anybody needed any help to please seek help and please come to counseling. But it was an issue that really wasn't even talked about then. And, you know, I was bullied, I was taunted. And it's something so real. And these youth and, you know, the district staff that should be applauded, yourselves, you know, we've come full circle over years. This is not controversy. Ms. Leach, you were attacked by this, by the Christian Coalition and others during your campaign, and you stood up against it. You know, board members, you know what's right. You know what the correct thing for all youth is. You know what this public school system is for all people. And Mr. Runcie, you know, during your hiring, you know, I've said it again publicly, but, you know, you acknowledged that sexual orientation is a factor that must be considered when we look at academic success for a student. You know I was challenged with my own academic success while in school. You know, some classes I did better, like maybe home ec. Others, you know, I really had a hard time doing because I didn't have that ability to think. I didn't have that free space in my mind that wasn't being bloated by all the stress and anxiety of trying to figure out and discern my own sexuality. And I just want to say, this really will help break those barriers and ensure that more of our youth are achieving the maximum potential they can in academic success, but also going out into the workforce and being far more competitive in the workplace, more confident in the person that they are. So I just want to say, again, I thank you, I thank the district and the community members who have come here to support this, because there's a community that this school board and this system has embraced to form a partnership so that this board better understands LGBTQ youth, the issues, and how to support they and their families. So thank you again.
Michael, I'd just like to acknowledge and thank you for spearheading. And the one thing about Michael, that he has a stick-with-it attitude, that he's encouraged all of us. He's talked with every school board member here. I know he's traveled between here and Washington, D.C., campaigning for the cause. So it's people like you that make the difference. And the young people that were here today, you know, Michael is a great mentor and really a good person to listen to, because he's lived. You know, some people talk the talk but don't walk the walk. Michael definitely has talked the talk and walked the walk. So thank you, Michael. Is there anyone else? We'll move to a vote. All those in favor of A2, please indicate. Is it 2 or 3? 2. Please indicate by saying yes.
Yes.
Those opposed say no. A2 has passed unanimously.
Thank you. I just want to take a moment to thank Michael Rayner for his leadership in bringing this resolution to my attention, and to all our speakers for speaking on behalf of the community, our employees, parents, and our students who most definitely touched our hearts. And I know how difficult that was for you to come forward and speak, and you really, I think, made many people understand